しんちゃおおはようございます。私は今ベトナム南部のダラットという町に来ています。ダラットはベトナムの中でも避暑地なんですけど、年間通して気温が割と低くて過ごしやすい感じで、今日も23度ぐらいの天気になっています。で、今朝の8時なんですけど、そのダラットの中でもコホ族という少数民族が暮らしている村に今向かっています。で、そこでコホコーヒーという持続可能な農業をやっているコーヒー農園があるということで、今日はそこに取材に行きたいと思います。今タクシーで向かってます。コホ族のコーヒーショップコホコーヒーにやってきました。結構山あいと思ってたんですけど、しっかり村っていう感じで民家が並んでいたり、教会があったり、あと人の姿も見えますし、犬も結構たくさんいます。そんなところにあるコホコーヒー、今からお邪魔してきます。
Anyway, I would like to introduce, I'm Rowan. So I'm the fourth generation of the coffee farmers. And I was born here in the coffee plantations. And, I love coffees when I was 4 years old. And when I was 10 years old, I started to work in a coffee shop. And after that, I get really deep into coffee and, I get to follow my ancestor. We start the cooperative, is Coho community. So we're more like a family business. We try to improve the quality of the coffee and sell directly to the customer. We had the coffee during the French times, like 1800s. That is, in Vietnam is also pretty late for the coffee that grow in Vietnam. But we start, coffee through the French, and then the French brought it over to Vietnam. But in general, in the whole country, we produce 95% is Robusta. And only 5% which is Arabica coffee. So in coffee we have like 100% is Arabica coffee. And with the Arabica coffee now, the climate change, so the area that growing coffee is decreasing more. So we have less and less Arabica coffee. And in the harvest season, we also have to produce 3 different types of methods in coffee. This is natural process, wash process, and honey process. So it really depends on the climate. We will do it mostly everything manual work, so it takes so much time. So let's go down here. I'll show you how it works. So this is one of our oldest varieties in Arabica coffee. This is the typical variety. It has a very nice fruity caramels and good body in the typical flavor. But to grow the typical variety is very difficult because it requires a lot of environment, soil, and moisture on the ground. So you need to support them. And also we have to grow peanut grass. So this is the legume, more like a high nutrients grass. So when we grow this and we cut it, it's more like compost, so the tree will take naturally sources from the fertilizer. This is a tree, it's more than 70 years old. So you could see down here, there's many cuts down here. So many times farmers cut it. In average, one of the typical tree like this could bring you 5 kilos coffee. When we do the processing coffee, we will bring the coffee from the mountain. You can see in the back side there's the place where our coffee plantation. It's 5 kilometers only, but it took you 2 hours to get there. The coffee future is very short. And we don't know if about 5 more years, we don't know if the coffee still survive because climate change. Also, the farmers have to put so many work into their garden. But once a year, if you have the storm come, then all the fruit will drop on the floor and you cannot pick it because when you pick the coffee from the ground, then you cannot use it for a good coffee. then you can use it for instant coffee most of the time. So with Arabica coffee tree, that you have to grow them in the higher elevation. But when you reach into the mountain, up to the top of the mountain, you hardly take care of it. Really hard to take care of it. That's why, farmers start to change into a different cultivation of different crop. But luckily, I still work with my community, 40 farmers here, and we're still running with our coffee. So we have about 20 to 30 hectares of coffee farms in the back of the mountains. And then every month before the harvest season, we have to sit together with the farmers, and then we see what is the problem, and then we solve the problem together, and we try to find the best way to support each other. And then we have some activities like tasting their own coffee to help the farmer to develop and make them understand more about their own coffee. Okay, so here we have 3 main processes in coffee. With this coffee, if you want to do the wash process, you have to take off the skin. So when you remove the skins, then you will have a sticky mucilage. You have to put them into the tank with the oxygen inside. And then 24 hours later, the coffee itself, including bacteria, the temperature, sugar, it's all work together to ferment it. And then with this coffee, after you wash them, you dry them out in the sun, in the stroller for 5 days. And very important, at least they have a natural wind and the sun's touch to make the sun color. So here is the honey process. Honey process is a process that you let the natural coffee, after popping the shelf here, caramelizing in the sun, at least for 40 days. So all of this coffee has to have more than 20 to 24% of sugar in here. The taste of the coffee here is more like, it's very brown in sugar, it's very caramel-like, it's sweet tea-like, and it has very vanilla-like. If you want it more fruity flavor the best way, you can do it naturally with the natural process. So this coffee, the natural, is more like very floral, nutty, very strong, fruity smell. And it has very high body in the natural process. You can do an Arabic fermentation to keep more flavor inside the coffee fruit. So this is our traditional hand mill. So we do everything by hand.
Cool.
Very hard, but not too strong, because you can break the bean. So you have to hit it in the middle. The coffee starts to break the shell, and you get the coffee right here. Yep. We have to get these green beans out. So you will have to mill them.
It's so weird.
Oh, I did it. That's right.
Oh, okay.
It's more like a masa.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll put it here. Then just spread it. So that's the one we don't use it. This is the coffee that we're going to use. So what is good for coffee bean? The coffee that's not broken. This is bad. We don't take this.
Yeah.
Put it here, broken, and then the good one, you put it. If you have 10 kilo of coffee, fresh cherry, when you go to popping, selecting first, you go to popping, you have 50-50. This means you have 5 kilo. And 5 kilo here, when you do ferment it, to let the mucilage come out, then you will have 2 kilo. 2 kilo here, you dry in the sun and then keep it every day, so you have 1 kilo. 1 kilo here, you pulp, break it.
Yeah.
30% of the husk, the skin, the shell.
Yeah.
So you have 700 gram. 700 gram here, you're selecting. Now see how many gram you have. Let's see how many gram you have.
That's really crazy.
250 grams. Yeah. So this is come from 10 kilograms.